It should really just be a universal holiday whenever the very first tier list from SonicFox releases for a new Mortal Kombat. Now, we've talked about what Sonic already said about Scorpion, where Scorpion was labeled as bottom 1, but that tier list was actually Zombats. SonicFox was just in the call helping out and giving a perspective. The first part of this video is going to be going through the tier list and just talking about some of the surprising placements, and then we're going to talk about how SonicFox said 99% of us are bad at the game. The beauty of this tier list is it is entirely ordered. So let's talk about the biggest surprises in bottom tier, and that is Mileena and Baraka. Keep in mind, Sonic's tier list is based on offline play and probably competitive tournaments. So when talking about Mileena, SonicFox probably means with the Kung Lao cameo. Because let's be real, at the highest level of competition, you probably need it. And the problem when you talk about stuff like this, where she just jumps in at you and gets the mix-up, every character in the game can do that. This is definitely bad for Mileena in an online tournament, because this right here with Scorpion isn't a mix-up anymore. But even with Scorpion as your cameo, this is super reactable offline. In an offline setting where there is zero ping, this, like, guessing between the overhead and low is much easier. You have to think, most of the time you're guessing against this, like, let's say you're at 70-80 ping average. That is a whole bunch of frames less time to react. When it comes to Mileena and why she is so low on SonicFox lists, aside from the fact that she lost Scorpion as a really good cameo with over 50% combos and she is forced to play Lao, she fits the realm of that there are 4 or 5 things that aren't that great for her, unlike Baraka, where I could tell you right away the 2 glaring issues he has. First off, Mileena has no full screen projectile without spending the bar. She must use meter. Mileena has 0 safe special moves, so she is always just doing this. She's never completing strings, which makes it very obvious what she's about to do, and gives the ball roll its YOLO factor. People are thinking Mileena is just YOLOing. No, it's because she has 0 safe special moves, so you're not used to her completing the strings into a special. This right here. That is negative 37 on block. This right here. That is negative 16 on block. This right here. Negative 23 on block. This right here. That is negative 29 on block. And this right here is negative 27 on block. It feels like all the lowest tier characters for Sonic have this issue. Scorpion has no hit confirmable special moves. Every single one is safe. Mileena is like this. We'll get to Baraka in a second, but Baraka has 0 safe special moves, and it's a detriment because, yeah, she's just stuck spamming this, and she doesn't have enough plus frames to compensate. That string is negative 5. This string right here is about the only good thing, and it's 0 because she can also complete it by doing this, and it's plus 2. Issue is the forward 2 starts up in 18 frames, and it's a high, so she's gonna get crushed by the better mids in the game. But those plus frames lead me into the last major detriment. If Reptile is patient and doesn't mash, and you try and keep going with your turn with this down 1, he is going to full combo punish you. So you're forced to use a different poke. That would be your back 4, because it continues with plus 2 advantage, so even if Reptile blocks it, it's still your turn. The issue with that is, it's 14 frames. So a quick jab or maybe a Johnny Cage mid has a chance of interrupting that. That or the opponent could potentially backdash out of it. That's the only other option she has poke-wise. Down 3, negative 11, also punishable. Next up, Mileena has kind of a crummy mid. It's 13 frames, which is pretty slow in this game. It's her only mid. It has more range than Scorpion's 12 frame mid. But I mean, we've been complaining about it, so I could see why Mileena's would. And then it doesn't have a second hit, so you can't even really wait to see if it lands. Because the thing is, you need to dial it in. You have like a window where you could dial it in, but it's so small, it makes confirming off the mid really hard. So you're trying to one-hit hit confirm, and you don't have a special move you could throw out instead. You're just sitting here staggering forward 1, just like this, and it's negative 5 on block. Lastly, she lost this. In terms of, she can't combo off of it anymore. She needs Scorpion to do that, but Lao is so strong that she'd kind of be throwing by not taking Lao. Oh yeah, one more small thing. A lot of the cast can combo off their throws, so her not having a way to do it, except slightly with Scorpion, she can get like 16% because the fireballs can hit. That hurts her as well because a lot of characters can do it, And then also, she doesn't really have a wake-up armor combo. Just so many things she doesn't have that you could pick somebody else and they would have. Then we have Baraka, who absolutely needs Cyrax, and I think I see a trend on how Sonic puts some of these characters in low tier. The big weakness is the mid, and that's where I think Sonic goes, with the Melina pick being you have to hit confirm after one hit, or it's a dial-in, and it's just really slow. In Baraka's case, the back 3 right here, negative 14 on block, so fully punishable. The back 3 too, which is mid-mid, negative 13 on block, so fully punishable. Then we have the back 3-1, which is negative 7 on block, so it's pretty negative, but the opponent can duck the second hit of the string for a full combo punish. So every way Baraka uses his mid, he is getting punished for it, which is why Cyrax was so important. He also has the same problem Melina has, that he doesn't have any hit confirmable special moves, because you'd be like, oh Diff, you know, just cancel the back 3 into something. What is he gonna cancel it into? This is unsafe. This is unsafe at negative 16. This is unsafe at negative 22. Before, you would always just cancel into the special and then use Cyrax to keep you safe. He got much worse now that costs the entire cameo meter instead of half, because he can't use his mid hardly ever in the match. He's going to be waiting like 20 seconds to bring Cyrax back. On top of that, once he spends the whole Cyrax right here, now half his combos are down like 5 to 10% damage. So yeah, the mid becomes pretty useless half the match with nothing to hit confirm it into. No matter what Baraka does, he's getting fully punished, especially offline, where you're always going to see the launcher part coming and duck it. So I can see why Sonic put the character in this spot. So in terms of S, I have a few characters I'm a little confused on. Let's start with Smoke. I thought Smoke should be an S+, solely for the fact that Big Daddy G would have made finals with SonicFox and Ninja Killa had he not dropped the combo against King Gambler's Johnny. We almost had a Smoke in finals, and that was when Cyrax was, you know, not nerfed. It was in a time where so many characters were super powerful. Katana and Tanya being at the top of S goes along with what I'll say when we talk about Sonic's comments that most of us are bad at the game, but I purposely mentioned in my tier lists that I hadn't seen much of these characters, and wherever I put them, it'd be controversial, and that these two are so sporadic on everybody's lists, so it makes sense. You know, I knew somebody was going to put them higher than I did. So aside from Smoke, the other big surprise for me was Kung Lao being so low. I think what plays a big role in it is really you should be playing Kung Lao with Goro instead of Lao Lao. Lao Lao can work, but it takes away one of the biggest tools in your game, which is being able to wake up, armored launch, or give yourself plus frames if it's blocked. I'm not even joking. If you do this right here on wake up, and it hits, you are getting a huge full combo. If it is blocked, you're getting a ton of pressure right here into more plus frames because you have Goro, and it only costs half a cameo gauge. But I think what brings him lower is the same problem that plagued all the A tier characters. His mids aren't great. This right here is a negative 13 on block. It's one of his 2 mids, and you actually can't special cancel the second hit, but it's a launcher. It's unsafe though, so it makes hit confirming this really difficult because it comes out in 12 frames and you have to see right away if it hits to know if you should input the second move or not, or you're gonna get combo punished. His next mid is back 3, so you can do it 2 ways. You can do the mid low or the mid overhead. Same problem, he needs to confirm after 1 hit. This time, not because he's going to be punished, but because you can't special cancel after either of those enders. So yeah, Lao is just kind of screwed over with mids, one being 12 frames, one being 13, so neither are fast, that he has to one-hit hit confirm. When it comes to S+, there was only 2 surprises, one of which being Reiko, so it wasn't really a surprise. I just wasn't sure how the damage nerf was going to affect him. The big one that everybody is talking about is Sindel being placed as the second best character in the game. I don't really care about Kenshi being 1 and Johnny 3. I think those are interchangeable based on the matchup. Sindel being second. I'm sure a lot of you guys are surprised if you haven't been on Twitter. Let me show you this clip from Dragon as to why Sindel is so busted with Kung Lao cameo. So in this, Sindel essentially gets a perfect vortex. While she is doing it, she always has enough time during the combos to gain Lao Hat back. So she can do this from the very first hit of the round all the way to the end, keep looping it. Now you might just look at it and be like, well, Sindel just gets perfect spacing to keep going for the Lao mix-up, but that's not it. Dragon posted this clip first, but you literally have it so you cannot armor out of it. It is a pure guess, and it is such a hard to blockable guess. It might be one of the hardest guesses in the entire game. Even if you guess right, blocking the Lao hat first and then going for the overhead, you just might be too slow to stand up, or vice versa. Or you guess wrong because it is 1 frame difference in timing on which is going to hit first. It's brutal. But what makes this vortex the worst is what Luddy is saying in this tweet. Essentially, you can even get delayed wake up and it breaks armor. So it's truly 2 guesses that you have to make. Otherwise, you lose the round, and these guesses are hard to blockables. Think, this is offline that Sonic is putting Sindel at 2. That means Sindel online is top 1 with this, because you're now in online connections trying to guess that block, or make sure you block it correctly. It's almost impossible. I've been hit by it already. Straight up, got 100%ed that round straight in a row, made the wrong guess every time. That or I was just missing, doing the really quick down up or up down. That's all I really wanted to talk about for the tier list portion of this video. Now let's get into Sonic's tweet about calling 99% of us trash at the game. Sonic stated, daily reminder that 99% of the Mortal Kombat player base is actually dog water, and your opinions on characters are shit, that is all. Sonic followed this up with, don't mind me when I take all of you guys' money again at the next major, since y'all don't want to listen to your best player. Sonic is 100% the best player in the scene. I have said that Sonic is the GOAT, and sure enough, SonicFox came back and won the very first tournament, beating Ninja Killa in Grand Finals. Here's the thing though, I definitely think Sonic is 100% better than every other player out there. It goes into this whole tier list portion in terms of listening what Sonic has to say about the character's strengths. Tier lists, in my opinion, are for entertainment value, because if this is the case, I'm more genius than SonicFox. I put Sindel at the top of A+ in my very first 2-week, in tier list, and Sonic and Zombat put Sindel at A tier. Why that's important? Sindel hasn't gotten any better than she is right now. If anything, the only nerfs have been Kung Lao Hat got a 2-second longer cooldown, and she just got, her infinites taken away. This means that this whole time, Sindel should have been in the top 3, but she wasn't. This goes to show that even SonicFox can be wrong about the opinions of characters and the strength, versus other characters. And it ties back into why I always place Kitana and Tanya low, is because I haven't seen what those 2 characters can do well. And clearly, I had seen what Sindel could do well at the start of the game. I got vortexed within the first week or so. Sonic probably hadn't been hit by it yet, and put Sindel low. Sonic probably has been hit by some crazy stuff from Kitana and Tanya, and I have not. And it's just going to show that tier lists are always subjective to each and every player. So keep being dog water, my friends. Let's keep improving, but just know when you give your opinion on a character or the strength of the game, don't worry, because nobody 100% knows the true strength of every character. Anyways, just wanted to talk about all of that. I'll have gameplay videos up the next few days. Catch you later.